Okay, so welcome back to day 2 of Thrive in 2024. I'm really delighted to see some of your faces that were here yesterday and to see some of you that couldn't come yesterday live today. So thank you. It really means the world to me to make this personal connection with you, especially because in the Yoga Teacher Collaborative, I see your names. Like Bonnie, I see your name a lot. It's nice to see your space and to see your face and that beautiful area you're teaching in. So it's really nice to make this connection. Daniel, welcome. It's nice to have a gent amongst us. So thank you for being here. Yeah, and thank you so much for your homework as well. You know, I put my heart and soul into any trainings that we do. So seeing your homework come back is pure soul food. And it tops me up and gives me the inspiration to keep sharing. Today hasn't thankfully got quite as much content as yesterday. So we'll be able to go through it at a slightly slower pace, looking for a few different examples, but I'm going to put the screen share on right now. If I can find the right one, probably over here. This looks right. Press that present button. Okay. Yes, so don't let me forget. That's why I put this little gold sticker on here. If you are with me live today, you have the Thrive Live bonus, which is a 60-minute yoga photography workshop. It is a co-taught workshop between me and a photography educator, Ria, that I'll send you a link to. It might seem a random bonus, but actually, it's really important that we get comfortable sharing our own photos of us as real humans and real lovers of yoga rather than relying on stock photography, because it helps people make this real connection with you and helps really to get a much broader demographic of yoga, of people represented in yoga, you know, not just such a narrow demographic. I remember eons of time ago, I don't know if it was about 6 or 7 years ago, one January, the Daily Mail did a yoga special, and they had for a week an article on yoga every single day. And all of the models were very tall, very slim, and they had them permanently in like a boob tube sports bra and hot pants. And I rang the Daily Mail and had quite a little rant. And they said that they couldn't put photos of real people doing yoga, not models, because that would be intimidating to their readers, which sent me absolutely bananas. If we are going to change what people think yoga is, you know, I'm not skinny enough for yoga, I'm not bendy enough for yoga, I don't want to put my leg behind the head. We're going to change all of that narrative. It's by having us represented in yoga photography, yoga imagery, yoga marketing. So that means you've got to put images of you out there. Now, a great way to feel more comfortable is to get training on how to take yoga photos. So that's what today's bonus is all about, to make you feel more comfortable using your own images. Everybody gets the Thrive Live bonus. The winner for doing the homework, that's if you submit your homework for every day. So I've taken down a note of everyone who's done the homework from yesterday, and then on the tomorrow, the winner will get announced for that. All right. A little tiny recap. So yesterday, I started introducing you to this idea that as a yoga teacher, your primary role is to be a community builder. Communities build slowly, one student at a time, one human at a time. And community is one of the most rewarding things for us as yoga teachers. And it's also one of the most rewarding things for our yoga students. They get to feel as part of a community. So I really want you to keep that front and center of your mind. You are first and foremost a community builder. Now, I also went over this with you yesterday, and I will go over it with you tomorrow, that if you're to build a community, If you are to build a sustainable yoga business that looks after you physically, mentally, financially, you want to focus on having real conversations. That can be in your community, face to face with people. That can be when you're dropping a flyer through someone's front door and they open the door, not scurrying away thinking you're trespassing, but saying, "Oh, hi, thank you so much. I was just about to give you this flyer about yoga, but my name's Laura. I live in the village down the road. Have you ever thought of doing yoga?" Rather than, "Oh my God, I've been caught putting a flyer through your door, must run away." Anytime you can have a real conversation. But as I said yesterday, this can be done online as well. Every time someone engages with a post, you get a new follower on social media, then having a conversation with them. And if, like me, you are naturally introverted and small talk is not your comfort zone, it's helpful to have a few tricks up your sleeve that make having real conversations with new people easier. I don't have this on a slide because I didn't plan on talking about it. So please write down the acronym TED. T-E-D. TED. T stands for tell me more. E stands for explain. D stands for describe. So when we're having conversations with people, be that you've gone to your partner's Christmas party, all sorts of opportunities for real conversations with people that could end up being yoga students, or someone's reached out to you via message and said, "I'm thinking of coming to yoga." We start conversations with TED. "Oh, I'm thinking about coming to your yoga classes." "That's wonderful. Tell me a little bit more about yourself." Whereas what we normally do is go, "I'm thinking about coming to your yoga classes." "Great, I teach on a Monday at 7 p.m. We go straight into that selling mode and we haven't developed the real conversation. "I'm interested in coming to yoga." "That's wonderful. I love yoga. But tell me a little bit more about yourself." Okay. Or if someone says, "Oh, do you know what? I've been experiencing back pain for ages." My brain wants to go, "Great, yoga helped my back pain. Come to yoga." Too early, too keen, too eager. Okay. "Oh, I'm so sorry you've been experiencing back pain." E, explain to me what that's like for you. "Oh, do you know, I'm so tired at the moment. I've got a new baby and I'm not sleeping." "Oh, explain to me what that's like for you." D, describe. I'm so stressed out at work at the moment. Describe to me what your routine looks like. So it really helps take a conversation deeper, more quickly. And then when you've had this opening conversation, "Oh, do you know what? I've been really experiencing back pain. Explain to me what that's like for you." "Do you know what? I wake up in the morning okay, but by the end of the day, I'm in so much pain, I don't know what to do with myself." Describe to me what your daily routine looks like. Round in that circle. "Oh, do you know what? I sit at my desk all day." "Okay, thank you so much for describing to me what you experience. It sounds like you feel okay in the morning, but as you go throughout the day, sat at your desk, you're busy, you maybe don't move so much, and by the end of the day, your back's quite sore. Have you thought about trying a little bit of yoga at the end of your working day to ease out the day? I really think that might help with your back pain. Why don't you come to one of my yoga classes for a free first class and we can see what we can do for you?" Makes a much more authentic conversation that you've made this connection with somebody, you've got interested in what they're going through, then you can make a much more qualified recommendation as to why you think yoga will be beneficial for them. I really didn't expect to be having this conversation, so just note that down. It is not on the cards for today, but here we go. So once you've had those real conversations with real people, you start to create real relationships. In those real relationships, you get a better understanding of what your community's concerns are: stress, working long hours, back pain, feeling spiritually disconnected, feeling isolated. Through real conversations, you understand people's real problems. Then you can tailor the yoga around their needs and give them real results. When you start solving, the earrings come out. When you start solving people's real problems, many of you know I'm a bit of an earring addict. When you start solving people's real problems, then they will become committed students forever because you've been giving them real results. Okay. So real conversations with real people, creating real relationships, delivering real results. Where I wanted to take this conversation today was to give you a little more, just checking on that someone said if they could hear background noise. Just to give you a little bit more homework, is I'd like you to start also having real conversations with the yoga teachers in your community. Okay? Especially those of you that feel your community is saturated, this can start to have a real kind of icky relationship with you seeing other yoga teachers as competitors. And we don't want that kind of negative undercurrent. As we explored yesterday, some demographics in your community might be saturated by yoga, but I truthfully haven't met a community where all people have the opportunity to do yoga. I haven't met or found a saturated area. So we don't have that. And we don't want to be looking at other yoga teachers as our competitors. They are your colleagues, they are your friends, especially if you're feeling isolated, unsupported, uninspired. Develop your yoga teacher friends. And how do you do that? By having real conversations. Oh, I saw on social media that you're also a yoga teacher. Oh, I saw your poster in my village, same hall I teach in. Reach out. I would love to get to know you. Do you want to meet up for a walk or a coffee? You've got to be brave and take that step. And some people will ignore you, and that's okay. Move on. Okay? With real people. And then you'll create real relationships with other yoga teachers, and that will deliver results. You'll collaborate together, you'll support each other, your conversations will inspire each other. This is probably front and center of my mind right now, because as soon as we finish our session today, I have six other yoga teachers coming over to my house for evening. Sunny is one of them, and we are going to have a curry. We are going to talk, offload, look after each other. Then we're going to have a fire because it's the winter solstice. And then we're going to get all weird around the fire and sing and dance and journal and meditate. Then we'll get normal again and probably finish our curry, and then we'll go home. So have real conversations with real people, creating real relationships, delivering real results. That includes yoga teachers. They're your family. Okay. So looking into today's content, yesterday we connected with this idea that yoga is a light, once lit, never dims, and that you are that lighter that helps facilitate your community finding the light of yoga within them. Now, this is obviously doubly important today because today is the winter solstice. And as I told you, all of this has been cosmically timed intentionally. So this is that pause where you go in, you do the reflection, which is exactly what we're doing. But then today we're going to come on to getting excited about creating new ideas, getting excited about the candles we're going to help light. So to get into the right headspace for that, and because it's the solstice, we're going to do a little meditation together. So get yourself comfy and let's start meditating. Okay, so have a little wiggle or a fidget. If you want to nip off your chair onto the floor or anything, go ahead. And then bringing your hands to rest in your lap. Allowing your eyes to lightly close. Feel your body sinking down into stillness. On this, the winter solstice, know you are cosmically held. I'd love you to bring your awareness to the support beneath you, be that your chair, the floor, and relax a little more fully down into that support. Softening in your hips, even slouching a little. And then feel that support beneath you, rising up to hold you. Breathing in and down as if breathing into the earth. As if sending the most beautiful roots down into Mother Earth. Feeling yourself held from below. And this is Muladhara chakra, to be supported from below. As you relax here, trust that support from below. Held. And either just bringing your awareness to your pelvis or placing your hands on your low belly. And inviting your breath all the way down into the pelvis. Your pelvic diaphragm rises and falls when you breathe. Feel the ripples of your breath down in your pelvis. As you let that breath really settle in Swadhisthana chakra, your anchor, the dwelling place of the true self, the pure consciousness. Breathe into this calm ocean of your pelvis. And feeling your awareness slide to your navel, move your hands to your navel. Connecting with your breath in your navel center. This is Manipura chakra. This is where your unique essence is. Breathe to your navel center. Your uniqueness, your essence. The world is not the same without your light. You're not here to fit in, but to shine your unique light. Breathe into Manipura. And bringing your awareness up to your heart, or bringing your hands to your heart. Anahata chakra. Breathe to your chest. Imagine that flickering flame from a candle. Breathe into that flame. And this is where we do our work from. The greatest work we can do comes from love. As a teacher of yoga, you are called to serve, and you serve from love. Breathe into that flame. Letting that awareness come up towards your throat. Feel your breath in your throat, Vishuddha. From where your students experience your essence, your light, your work as you speak yoga. And then bring the awareness up to your third eye, Agnya. And imagine from your third eye, one stream of light, like a single beam of a torch. And through that light, we see our students. Through love, through connection. And bringing the awareness up to your crown. Imagine above your crown a beautiful light of universal Dharma. The love the universe has for you. And feel that light as a bubble all around you. Knowing that when you do your work, the universe looks after you. It's teachings from the Bhagavad Gita. Do your Dharma, Dharma looks after you. As you take a couple more breaths here, feel the support of the earth below you and the bubble of light above you. And sense little old you held between the two. Connected to your purpose, your light. Serving from your heart. On this, the solstice, may we ask the universe to use us, to show us where to shine our light, so that we may make the world a better place through yoga. 3 more cycles of breath. The universe, show me where to shine my light, so I may help others. Taking one more breath. And then flickering your eyes open. I think there is a real balance here, a balance between trust and showing up. You know, trusting that you're called to serve, you're on the right path, you're meant to be doing this work, and then showing up and putting in the work. We co-create with the universe. So as we've called in that, show me where to shine my light, let's direct that light together. Putting our screen share back on. Okay. So let's get creative. Creating your offerings. You don't have to look at what has already been done. Instead, look into your heart, dream, create. Anything is possible. Now, I really think this is important. I've been teaching yoga for 14 years, and it was a very different landscape when I started teaching. So there weren't teachers in my area with full classes. All the teachers I went to had, 5 to 7 students. There weren't really any workshops. There definitely weren't any day retreats. There wasn't any yin yoga in Hampshire. I mean, I am in the south. It takes a while for things to come down here. There wasn't any restorative yoga. There wasn't any day retreats. There wasn't any workshops. There wasn't really any courses. Just yoga was yoga. There wasn't much chair yoga. There wasn't much spirituality. So when there was less, then it wasn't so easy to copy. So that meant I had to create. I had to let little nuggets of inspiration come up within me, follow those nuggets of inspiration. And I still do that now. There's a vast creative well inside yoga teachers, some of the most creative people I know. And it's looking in that well and going, oh, what excites me? What do I want to bring together? And just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It just means someone hasn't got the unique inspiration of you. So anything is possible. And equally, tried and tested things work really well. So tried and tested, I highly advise new teachers to start with a 6-week beginner's course. Start there. Go with tried and tested, but equally, you don't have to do what's already been done. You can dream and create. And those of you who know me, you'll know I'm always creating new courses, new offerings, new workshops, bringing new things together. And because I'm always doing new, that means people always want to work with me. So, I mentioned about retreats yesterday. My retreats are sold out right into 2025. May 2025 is sold out because my students want to come with me every year. And they want to come with me every year because it's always going to be creatively different. Whereas if you always do the same things, the same things, the same things, the same March, spring equinox retreat in March, if you do that every single year, your students have always done it. Whereas you can do a day retreat every March, but change the theme. Okay, so get creative. So when you're creating your offerings, you want to blend your passions, what excites you, with your ideal client's needs. They have to need the thing that you're excited about. You can't go too niche. Design offerings from your heart, your creative soul. Believe anything is possible. You are a visionary. You are a guide. You have to go first. Just because it's not been done, it's because you're there to go first. There's my little picture of my pumpkin because it makes me happy. Okay? So if anything is possible, what kind of yoga experiences would you like to provide? And maybe you've got an idea. So there's an idea for something I want to do next year, which is a tantric exploration of the chakras. So exploring what the tantric texts wrote about the chakras rather than the more modern system. So there's an idea. And maybe you've got an idea, something percolating. And then you have to think, all right, what's the best way to deliver this? And again, oftentimes people try and fit into a mold rather than being creative. So go, oh, I'm going to do it as a 6-week course, or I'm just going to do it as a day retreat. Yeah? Rather than thinking, what's the idea I have and what's going to be the best way to deliver that material? So again, for the Tantric Chakra course, I was talking this through with my friend who's a yoga teacher, because make friends with your yoga teachers. And I was saying, to really get to grips with this content, it's going to need to be spread out. So I don't want to do it as a weekly course. Okay, I don't want it to be too spread out, so I want some consistency. So it's going to be a course that runs every other week. So there's a week of course materials, a week of integration. How long do I want the sessions to be? Again, you don't have to just do a 60-minute class because all the classes are 60 minutes. Think about what it is that you're excited about delivering and how long do those sessions need to be. So my Tantra Chakra course, I thought, in an hour, I'm not going to have been able to explain the complex theory, gone back to the Tantric source texts, and then done a yoga class, and then a meditation. It's going to need to be 2 hours. Going to have to give me 45 minutes of theory and an hour and a quarter of practice. Okay? So again, what is it you really want to deliver? Because coming back to delivering real results, you've got to be respectful of the work you're wanting to do. And then do you want to deal with this online or in person? I want to offer it online because I've got lots of yoga teachers that work with me and they're not all in Southampton. Okay, or is it something you want to do in person because that's how you're going to get the best material, the best effect, the best results? So rather than thinking, how is this already done? What's the status quo? Well, I don't think anyone's going to want to do it more than an hour. Stay true to the results of what you're trying to offer, to what honors the experience you're trying to create. Then ask yourself, online, in person, does it need to be a class? Does it need to be a course? How long would the sessions last and over what time scale to deliver the best result and honor the teachings? What other passions would you like to infuse into the yoga offering? So I've got a workshop straight back in January, which is yoga and astrology, looking at the year ahead. So I want to bring my passion for astrology into that. So what are the other passions you want to bring in? I've got a day in February, which is a workshop in February. It's a charity fundraiser. It's a 90-minute walk and a yoga class. Passionate about raising money for charity, passionate about walking, put it all together. There we've got a nice yoga offering. Okay, so bring your other passions into things. All right, I'm going to take just 3 breaths to let you finish writing that down, because I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm about to say next. Okay. All right. Build it and they will come. Hands up who's heard that expression. Build it and they will come. I actually think that expression has its roots, my earrings, not want to stay in. I think it has its roots in religion. I think it's come from churches, I can't remember, but applied as a business principle, it's absolute waffle. Worse than waffle, it's detrimental. Build it and they will come. Nope, sorry, wrong. Not going to happen. Okay, build it and they will come is not true. They will only come if they need it, want it, desire it. So there might be me there with my love of astrology or my love of walking or my love of mentoring yoga teachers. But if yoga teachers don't want my help, they're not going to come. If other people aren't interested in astrology, they're not going to come. If nobody else wants to put their walking boots on and get on a muddy walk, they're not going to come. People will only come, do, book the thing if they need it. Need it. What would be an example of need? I have back pain. You are offering yoga for back pain. I need that. I'm in pain, not sleeping. You're offering a restorative yoga for deep rest. I need that. I'm not sleeping. Need is something real deep. There's a real problem. Want it. Oh, that sounds fun. I can't think of a better way to spend my Saturday afternoon. I want that. Want is kind of frivolous. Yeah, or I want that knowledge, or I desire it. They're different. Need, want, or desire. That's the way you'll get someone to come to something. Then, how will someone need, want, or desire it? You need to understand symptom, problem, solution. Symptom, problem, solution. So this is when we look at need, because want and desire are nice. I can want something and I can desire something, but I might still not book it. I might want something, but be struggling for time. I want desire something, but I don't have the money. I might want and desire something, but I spend all of my money on my kids because I put their needs above my needs. So if you can tap into a need first, that's the most powerful driver. If someone needs something, they will find the money. If someone needs something, they will find the time. What underpins a need is a symptom, problem, or a solution. I'm actually going to use a non-yoga example here simply because it's current and it's personal for me. So I have booked a one-to-one session with a personal trainer tomorrow. So let's work that through. Why on the 22nd of December do I have a need that's booked me a personal trainer, and how could they have marketed this? So my symptom, I used to work out and do weightlifting. I stopped with, this is the story, I stopped with COVID. I walk 10,000 steps a day. I do yoga every day. But, I'm 40 next year, and I've suddenly noticed a decline in my strength. Chaturangas lowering to the ground, suddenly feeling a bit harder. I've noticed a decline in my strength. I know 40, that's beginning-ish of perimenopause. I know that as you head into perimenopause and menopause, that keeping up muscle mass and strength in a female body is really important. So we have my symptom. I'm noticing a decline in my strength. There's a problem. I'm heading into perimenopause. That's a problem. Solution, gentle weightlifting once a week. Okay, so you can work that through. And I like that because that's a very practical example. We can apply this for anything. Symptom, I'm not sleeping. Problem, I get no time to unwind. Solution, go to a yoga class. Symptom, I feel stressed and anxious all the time. Problem, I don't know how to calm my mind. Solution, go to a yoga class. Symptom, I feel isolated and lonely. Problem, I'm retired. I don't have much of a community. I don't do anything for myself. Solution, go to a chair yoga class. Problem, I can't get down on the floor and play with my grandkids anymore. Symptom, problem, I'm losing mobility as I age. Symptom, go to a gentle yoga class for seniors. Sorry, solution, sorry, excuse me. Does that make sense? And when you're marketing something, you need to guide your students through this symptom problem solution, much more so for yoga than other things. Everybody has symptoms and problems, but they might not know that yoga is the solution. The personal example I gave you of mine, decline in strength, heading into perimenopause, solution, weightlifting. It's a very easy one. But actually, if someone's like, I've got headaches all the time, going to a yoga class will not be the first thing that comes to their mind. Symptom, I've got headaches all the time. Problem, I have a desk-based job and I've got neck and shoulder tension, and that referred pain is giving me headaches. Solution, go to a yoga class, release your physical and mental stress. Okay? But that's not necessarily logical for them. So you have to guide students through this by letting them identify their symptoms. And for something you're running, I would tend to recommend picking 3 symptoms. Feeling stressed and anxious, got neck and shoulder pain, never get a moment to yourself. Problem, busy, stressed out life, doing too much, not getting any time for yourself. Solution, yoga. So really start to think through, what is it I'm offering? Is it just yoga? And don't presume that the people in your community know that yoga is a solution for their problem. If it was, they'd already be going to a yoga class. Bearing in mind, most people think that yoga is not for them because they're not bendy enough, they're not skinny enough, they'll giggle, they might fart. People have all these stories as to why yoga is not right for them. So you've got to meet them and guide them through this by real conversations with real people, how you write your marketing, how you write your website. The personal trainer I'm going to see tomorrow, he had just written his website on the equipment he had in his gym. Not any symptom problem solution stuff, nothing. Just, I don't care that you have an elliptical orbit or whatever it's called. All right. I want to know if you understand my symptom and why you can be the solution. So, in a bit more detail, and this is in your workbook, this is some of your homework. Identify the real people that you want to come to your thing, be that your beginner's yoga class. And you can go, who do I want to come to my beginner's yoga class? Anyone. Are you going to be offering chair? Okay, no. So they need to be people that can get up and down off the floor. We've already got something going on in there. So real people. Then points of consideration. Who are they? Gender. And this can be broad. Don't over niche yourself, please. Who's coming? Gender. What age are they roughly going to be? General mobility and fitness level. And that's important that you think through things like that because, getting down on the floor is a barrier to yoga for some people. Climbing up a flight of stairs to your first story yoga hall, that can be a barrier to people. And that's fine. If you're putting on a beginner's vinyasa yoga class, that's fine that that's a barrier. But if you're putting on a class that's for retired people in your community, getting down on the floor and getting up a flight of stairs could be a barrier. How can you remove that barrier? So if you do have a particular gap that you identified, what we spoke about yesterday, really think through, what are their barriers to yoga? Because if you're wanting to attract new yoga students, they're going to be new to yoga. Because if they're not, they're already going to a class with somebody else. So if you're attracting new people, they're new to yoga. Why are they not already doing yoga? And how can you pull that barrier down? Know their why and their pain points. What is their symptom and problem? You need to understand real people's real needs. Points of consideration. And you've got this in your workbook, remember? What is their motivation? Everybody thinks other yoga teachers are competitors. They're not your collaborators. Everything in everyday life is your competitor. How are you going to compete with me sitting on the sofa with a mug of tea and watching Netflix? How are you going to compete with that to get me out of the house in the dark, in winter, to part with my money to come to your yoga class? How are you going to motivate me away from staying on the sofa? That's a bigger competitor than other yoga teachers, is the sofa and Netflix. How are you going to motivate me? By knowing what my problems are, by knowing what my symptoms are, and explaining to me how you're the solution. How will my students' day-to-day life be improved? You can tell me what's going to be better in my life for choosing yoga over a mug of tea and Netflix. I'm there. And we know yoga is a million times better than a mug of tea and Netflix. What's your student's expectation of what you're offering? So let's take this personal trainer. I've only booked him because he's local and down the road, okay? But my expectations have not been met by his website. So think through what are their expectations. The first way his website hasn't met my expectation is there isn't a picture of him. So I mean, if you don't see me tomorrow, it's because I didn't get out of this strange man's house. I'm going to a man's house tomorrow. All I know is his name's Stuart. He hasn't put his photo on his website, so I don't know what he looks like. He hasn't put his qualifications on his website, so I don't even know if he's qualified. He hasn't put a single thing about him. Any other time, I would not have booked him. He just happens to be local, okay? So what are the expectations? That I'll come to your website and I'll see a picture of you. I'll get a feel for you. I'll know what your qualifications are. I'll know why I should trust you. I know what's included in the course. So if you were going to book something, what would your expectations be? And are you meeting that? Okay. And then what are your students' goals? What do they want to get out of yoga? Then once you've done that work, because that takes a while. Yeah, I did ask my husband if he wanted to come to the PT with me tomorrow. He said no. In a bit more detail, course logistics. What's the duration of the course? So I want you to get a good, solid answer to this. My new beginner's yoga course is 6 weeks. My, whatever is it? And it can be anything. I teach year-long courses for yoga students. It can be anything. Don't want flaky students? Teach a year-long course. What's the duration of the course? What's the cost of the course? Cost of the course affects who's going to book it, and it affects what they think the quality is. You don't always have to make things affordable. You can have courses that are affordable. You can have free online content. You can be really generous. You watch that from me. I am so generous with what I give for free. Then you can have, an affordable book 6 weeks of classes option. But you can have higher ticket offerings. Everything doesn't have to be affordable. You won't go to a restaurant and a restaurant be creating a wine list and go, we can only put affordable bottles of wine on here. The restaurant will give you an affordable house wine, but they will then also give you higher quality wines at a higher price. You can put on higher quality events and courses at a higher price if they're fair for what you are offering. Okay? And that's what I look for, is pricing fair, not affordable. Is it fair? Fair for your students in response to what they're getting, the results they're getting. fair for any venues you're having to book, anyone you're collaborating with, and fair for you. So really ponder the cost of courses. I don't think we think about it enough. And don't just price match. What's the venue, day and time? And what are the number of students you're going to take? Okay, so think that through. Learning objectives, real results. From coming to your day retreat, what's the real result? How are they going to leave? How are they going to feel when they leave? From coming to your workshop on yoga for anxiety, what's the real result? What tangible skills are they going to learn and leave with? Coming on your yoga and astrology workshop, what's the real result? What they're going to leave with? Coming to a weekly yoga class with you, what's the real result? What are they going to learn? What's going to change in their life? If you're delivering a short-term course, like a 6-week course, what's going to happen at the end of the course? Think this through. People just leave this for chance. Many a yoga teacher will put on a 6-week beginner's course and just presume, hope that those students will go on to attend your other classes afterwards. Don't leave anything for chance. You can have made that decision. At the end of my 6-week beginners course, I would like my students to join my other classes. How can I facilitate that? I'll start mentioning during the teaching, as you continue with yoga, as you come to my other classes, we'll be going over this more. So say you're teaching a beginner the sun salutations. When this course has ended and you come to my other classes, you'll see most weeks we do sun salutations. So you're just planting seeds. Then at the end of the course, would you give them a discount code to encourage them to book the first of your regular drop-in classes? Or I often do a beginner's part 1 and a beginner's part 2. So really think through what they're going to do at the end. At the end of a day retreat, what's the next step? You'd like them to come to another day retreat. Offer them a 5% discount of their next day retreat if they give you a Google review. Okay? Think these through. What's the next thing they're going to do? And you'll see this with me. You'll see me do this all the time. We are here spending 3 days together. The next thing is that I would love to take you through a 12-week mentorship program. But if that's not right, I'll also tell you about a day retreat. I'll also tell you about a course. I will help you go, what's the next step to continue playing together? Okay? Guide your students through that. Then sum it all up. And this is what you need to be clear on before you put on a new course, a new workshop, a new class, a new anything. Where am I going to hold it? Day, date, time. How many students? What does it include? What does it include when you're on this with me? You get bonuses, you get prizes, you get workbook, you get lifetime access to the replay. What does it include? And then they don't have to cost you money all the time. So if you're trying to keep your classes affordable, don't always include something that's going to cost you money. Let's work this through. What are you getting on this free course with me that's costing me money? Because this course is free. Okay? You're getting the replay. Does that cost me any money? No. You're getting a workbook. Does that cost me any money? No. The prizes. The first prize is a coaching call with me. Does that cost me any money? No, it costs me time. The second prize, review of your website. Does that cost me money? No. Third prize is a replay of a CPD course. That's a replay, doesn't cost me money. Okay? Fourth is to join my Yoga Warriors. Doesn't cost me money. Okay? Then the Thrive Live bonuses. You had a replay of a photography workshop. You've got Canva templates. Do they cost me money? No. So you can really add, are those things all of value to you? Yes. So you can add things of value to your courses and offerings that don't always cost you money. A really nice example is, say you're doing one-to-one yoga, and it includes a personalized yoga nidra for you to do your own at home. When you are doing that one-to-one yoga class, when you're giving your students that yoga nidra in the class, Open up your phone, find the voice recorder, in the moment, record the yoga nidra whilst you're guiding your student through it, and then send them the recording afterwards. It's of real value to them. It doesn't take you any more time, doesn't cost you anything, but it's of real value. So cleverly think through, what do your courses include so we can give more? Then what are the costs to you? Because you might include things that have a cost. My 12-week beginners course online, that included a book. So there was a cost to that. So things might have a cost, but I'm just saying don't have to be. So then add up all of the costs, your venue hire, your Zoom license, anything, manuals that you're getting printed. Then once you know the costs and how many students, work out the price. Once you've worked out the price, then work out what the profit is. Okay? Total number of students at that price less the costs equals your profit. And is that fair? Is that profit fair for the expertise you're sharing, fair for the time you're putting involved, and a fair reflection of the life-changing results someone's going to get from working with you? And lastly, are you excited? If you're not, don't do it. We never do things. I never do things because they'll make money. I always catch myself. My husband's always saying, you should do this, you should do that. If it's just because it makes money, the answer will be no. Does it excite me? Is it offering real results? Is it going to make the world a better place? Then we do it. Write up your offer. So once you've got all of that, you're going to write it up. What is the course, workshop, day retreat, class, title? What's the name? What's the ideal student hook? So this is the sentence that helps someone identify that your course is for them. Course title, Yoga for Back Pain. Student hook, do you have back pain? One of my courses was the Realm of Emotions. Student hook, do you love the moon? And then this course is for you. Course content, as it addresses their key needs. So you're writing the offer as it addresses your students' key needs. Then invite them to book. Yoga for back pain. Do you experience back pain? This 6-week yoga course will take you through key yoga poses to improve your strength and flexibility. Breathing techniques to ease back pain. Improve your, I'm doing off the top of my head, yoga to improve your physical posture and strength. Book this course today before it sells out. I don't love early bird discounts, but incentive to book. Book this course today and get a free guide to yoga for back pain. Call to action, click here to book. DM me to book. On social media, comment yes, and I'll send you the link to book. All righty. So that was today. There's a lot of homework, and it's different homework. You've got to use your noggin. It's not just reflections today. Remember the homework. You have to submit all of your homework by 7 p.m. on the 22nd, and you can submit it all in one go. The first prize is on the 23rd. So that's the day after tomorrow. You would have to be available for a live one-to-one coaching call with me at 4 p.m. Second prize will be a website audit in the new year. Third prize, yoga for the nervous system training. Fourth prize, 1-month membership of the Yoga Warriors. Tomorrow, I'll also explain at the end of our session how we can work together in the 12-week business mentorship course. So we will be same time, same place tomorrow. I am going to get you your bonus before I forget. Share, copy link. So get that chat open and copy and paste this link out. And then keep it somewhere safe because it is an hour-long training. So you're not going to do it right now. Keep that link somewhere safe. So you copy and paste that out. I'm just going to put it in the chat on Facebook. There it is in the chat.
Before I begin,
oh, my Facebook's talking at me. Oh no, the train is started. There we go.
I'm Maria Michelle, as she said. I've been a professional photographer for about 15 years. Most of that time I've been shooting high-end weddings, and I've been really lucky.
If you're off mute, if you could just repeat yourself for me, that would be great. Is it me?
Throughout the last 7 years.
It's not me.
Now, before becoming a full-time,
there we go. There we go. All righty. So that is it for today. It's 3 minutes to 5. So if you need to jump off, crack on, jump off. I've got a little bit more time till my friends come over to eat curry and get all witchy in the garden. So does anybody have any questions? Anything you want? Feel free to unmute yourself if you do. Someone's got to have a question. Be brave.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Bonnie, go for it.
Hi, I'm literally just on the precipice of changing my my email provider. So I've been with MailChimp and I've moved into like this random email provider system, which I don't really like. And I'm looking for a different one. I just wondered, which one do you use that works?
Oh, I wouldn't recommend mine. I use iContact. They're very expensive, and I've signed up with them about 10 years ago, and now I've got all my templates in there and they get you over a barrel and I can't change. Constant Contact, I know people like Constant Contact, and I know people like MailerLite. Constant Contact gets good reviews, MailerLite. Would you recommend creating a course with alternatives for both chair and mat students? Do you mean in one class? No, if I'm honest, and I do teach chair yoga. Most of you've got my book on teaching chair yoga. Personally, I find it very hard to be teaching mat-based and chair-based at the same time. What I'll do is a chair class, but a lot of my chair class can stand. They can't get down on the floor. So then what we do is a sequence in the chair, like a sun salutation in the chair, and then I'll give the choice. Repeat the sun salutation in the chair or come up to standing to do it. Same, we'll do warrior poses in the chair, and then I'll give a choice to come and repeat and stand up. But to have people that only want mat and don't want to use the chair at all, and to be keeping them happy in a chair class is too much for my brain. And it doesn't give the best experience for both people. So I would do chair with some standing options if your class can stand, or mat. Sunni's here. We had, yeah, it's hard. You need 2 teachers. Sunni's been in the room with me before where I've had most people on the mat and a student on the chair, and Sunni's gone over and done chair yoga, sat next to them. She's like modified what I'm doing in the moment. I have a group and do both. Who said that? It's gone good. Aisha, I have yes. Say more, lovely. Let's hear how that's working for you.
It's really difficult. So I have a funded project in the community where it's chair-based yoga, and then alternate week is mat-based. But there's a handful of women who cannot get down at all. So I have to accommodate for them when I'm doing the mat-based yoga. And sometimes it's that difficult that I just say to them, you have to just wait until I've done this pose, because, you know, I can't allow the women who are on the mat to miss out on certain stretches because the people on the chair can't do it. But there are, I mean, what's amazing about yoga is that you can modify. You can do certain things that even, you know, you can even do the pigeon pose a little bit off a chair, you know, but it's all about having the right chairs. So in different venues, they might have really flimsy, floppy chairs that you just wouldn't even want to sit on. So it's a challenge. It's doable, but I'd rather not do it.
Yeah. 100, yeah, I agree 100%. And yes, to sometimes just saying, look, yoga isn't the asana. Just take a moment to connect to your breath while we do this one pose on the mat, and then we'll come back together. So I love that you that you don't give that pressure to yourself, that you've got that they can just take a breather. So I'm planning my first 6-week yoga group. Would you suggest preparing new class content for each class? I've got a YouTube video on how to teach a 6-week beginners course. So have a look on that. And I think I've done it in the Yoga Teacher Collaborative as well. What I do is first week have a series of poses. So take, for instance, in week 1, in amongst other things, we might do downward facing dog, warrior 2, maybe triangle. And then the next week, I'd repeat warrior 2 and triangle and add on side angle, Parsvakonasana. So I would definitely have slightly different content every week, but repeat some of the key poses and then add new ones. Yes, Lee, darling. Aisha, yes, darling. Sorry, you had your hand. Go for it, darling.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, honey.
So one of the questions I had was, I decided to take a big leap and drop the block booking element of my business strategy. So what I have is a free trial, pay-as-you-go, block booking memberships. But I've decided to drop the block booking because it's so demoralizing every 5, 6, 7 weeks to grovel to the page, your customers to come back and make sure you sign up. And because they know you and they become a bit familiar, they get lazy and they don't book until the last day, or they'll start, and before you don't even know who's coming and who's going. But I'm finding a resistance to people joining the memberships. Even though I've outlined how much of a huge discount that they'll get, they'll have unlimited access to classes, they'll have Zoom links, but it's that transition I'm finding. So I'm quite worried that in January I might lose a few people. I've already had people say they're not inclined towards the membership, although it saves them money. It just, and it, on a financial point of view, it makes sense that they do that. But how do I get them around without being salesy?
Oh, it's really hard. And I think you're doing the right thing. Having block booking, pay as you go, and a membership is too much. You either need to do block booking and pay as you go, or a subscription membership and pay as you go. 2 things. And I don't always ask. You know, that there's a time and a place for asking our customers what they want and what their preference is. And there's a time for just making hardcore business decisions. Did anybody get consulted from Tesco's that they were putting up the price of their food? Or did they just put up the price of their food? You know, if Tesco's had said to you, how would you feel if I'm going to put up the price of eggs by 50p? You'd have said, I'm not very happy about that. And then Tesco's would have gone, can't put up the price of my eggs because my customers aren't happy. I might lose them. But at the end of the day, they still need eggs, so they don't lose us. We have to sometimes just rip the Band-Aid off, go, what's the worst that will happen? The very worst that's happened is I might lose 1 or 2 students. Fine, I'll get new ones. And if they were that fickle that change is going to stop them coming to class with you, they're not your ideal students in the first place. I run a subscription and I run drop-in, and I never sell my subscription. So someone will come to me and do a free first class, and then they'll say, what happens next? And I'll say, you can either do pay as you go, or I have a subscription. The pay as you go is £10 a class. The subscription is £35 a month. But the subscription works like a gym membership, and it only saves you money if you are going to be at this class every single week. So why don't you start with the pay as you go? And then after you've done a couple of weeks, if you want the classes cheaper, come and jump over to the subscription. And then they do. Most of my classes are subscription. I think I've got about 75 students on subscription. They pay £35 a month via their card, straight into my bank account. So it feels like a salary. You know, 75 people, £35 straight into my bank without doing anything every month. I didn't give them the choice of, when I moved from block booking, I just moved, and then they will make a decision. So sometimes we just have to be a little hard on that, and that's business. but
I'm
it's
really
done
glad
with
you
love.
said that. I'm really glad you said that, because I was planning on spending the whole of my Christmas holidays ringing up all my clients to talk about it and to encourage them. But part of me thinks that maybe it's better just to let them decide. And I'd rather have 10 people on subscription and I know I've got an X amount
Yeah.
of money coming in each month than, and at least that's better than nobody on subscription, because that's a bonus of subscription. Like you said, it's a salary. You know what you're getting. You know how
Yeah.
to forecast ahead. And I have a problem that it's not a problem because it's a completely new market. Most of my women are Muslim women in Birmingham, and so they wouldn't have gone to yoga anywhere else. And most of them also cover their head, so it's the only place they can remove it
Yeah.
quite comfortably. But I get Ramadan, which is a fasting month. I lose so many women because they take a month off and then they don't come back. And I'm recovering from that.
Yes.
And then the summer holidays come and I lose so many women because they're off with their kids and I'm recovering from that. So I'm really trying to avoid these two major
Okay.
issues
I
in business.
understand. I want to give everyone some homework based on that, though. And you might have done this, but I know some people here won't have. If you have things like Aisha mentioned Ramadan and then the students stop coming, that's okay. That's their choice. But we want them to come back afterwards, or they stop coming for Christmas, or they stop coming for summer. Has anybody here been doing something they've loved and then they've been on holiday or they've not been able to go for a while and then they kind of forgot they ever did it in the first place and have never gone back? Okay. I have done that with so many things. And I just kind of got out of the habit. And that's fine. But I want you to be on one-to-one communication with those students. So go back, in Aisha's example, go back and bring up a list. This is your Christmas homework. If everyone that was coming to your class before Ramadan, everyone that was coming to the class before the summer holidays, and then compare that. And then this is going to be the same for everyone after Christmas. Who was coming to your classes before December, because everyone gets fickle in December, and have a list, and then compare that list to who is coming to your classes now or who's coming in January. Let's do this in January for not Aisha's situation. And I want you to compare them. And then you can go down that list and go, Fred was a regular, he's not come back. Now, I want you to be in the position that if I said to you, where's Fred? You could say, oh, Fred's mum is having surgery on her knee. She's having to look after him. He can't get there anymore. Okay. Where's Tracy? Tracy's gone on sabbatical for 6 months. I want you to be able to know where every single regular student is. And the reason you probably don't know that is too many yoga teachers rely on mass communication. Yeah, but I sent a group mailer. Yeah, but I put it up on social media that my classes are back. Group communication is good, but for your regulars, one-to-one, WhatsApp or email or messenger. Hey, Fred, haven't seen you since before Christmas. I really miss you. How have you been? What you doing? What did you do over Christmas? Not sure if you know, but classes have started. Okay. So I'm not going, Fred, why haven't you been to yoga for 6 months? Fred, I miss you. How are you? Where have you been? Oh, by the way, classes are coming back. So I'm not selling. That's always a, by the way, PS stop. But first of all, I'm a real human who really misses my real student called Fred. I do miss my real student called Fred. His genuine name was Fred Smith. I really do miss Fred. I need to message him and say, Fred, I miss you. Real human to real human. How have you been? PS, get your butt back to yoga. That's got to be done by everyone who had classes and regulars have gone. Lee, honey, let's do 2 more, Lee and Gillian, and then I've got to get Curry ready.
Hiya. I don't know if you'll cover this tomorrow in your marketing one, but a few people have mentioned like doing regular newsletters, and for me it feels a bit like scary, like setting the whole thing up. Is it worth getting over that fear and doing them, or are they not that effective?
They are effective.
They are.
So, as I just said, I want you to be having one-to-one conversations with regular students that have gone missing, but hell yes. you need an email list. The email list is the single biggest asset after yourself, because you do not own your social media followers.
Mhm.
We all know people who've been shut out of Facebook, who've lost their accounts. And when you post something on social media, the algorithm stands in your way. Just because someone's chosen to follow you doesn't mean Facebook's going to show your stuff to them. If someone gives you their email, the only thing standing between you is how sexy your subject line is. Okay, your email got in their inbox, and the subject line is going to determine whether they open it. No one can take that away from you. And I see this time and time again. I'll put on social media, day retreat coming up. No one will book it. I'll send it out on my email, and then it'll get sold out from an email. And it'll be that they saw it on social media, but they didn't action it. So yes, they don't need to be complicated. They don't need to be long. Look at mine. If you're signed up on my student ones and other ones, look at mine. They don't have to be complicated. Gillian, gorgeous.
Hi, thank you. I've got one other just quick question based on what you just said, and then I've got my main question. Will you be covering mailing lists in the mentoring?
Yes, there's a whole module on email marketing.
Okay, great. Okay, so my question is that I have a subscription system, and I have 5 classes a week on my subscription, and people get access to that for £39 a month, which I realise we've spoken is just way too cheap. It's been running for a long time, but I've only got maybe 8 or 9 subscribers, and it just feels like I feel like I've got myself into a bit of a pickle with it all, in that, you know, I've priced myself way too low, and I've carried on, and I've been really committed. I've been doing it since 2020. And I feel like I'm a bit lost in it all, and I'm not sure the way forward. I'm not really sure how to change it, or how to move forwards. And I'm also concerned about changing something and then it being the wrong change. So in the meantime, I'm just carrying on, and I think I'm quite run down and exhausted by it all, but I can't see my way out of it.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Often, just a second, darling, could you close that door? Often we don't make decisions because we're scared of making the wrong decision. Not making a decision is a decision. And you are tired, you are burnt out, you are not serving yourself through how you've priced your classes. So not making a change is the wrong decision.
So hold on, not making a change.
Yeah.
Oh, is the wrong decision. So
Yeah.
I should make a change.
Yeah. So when we don't make a decision, that is a decision.
Right.
It's a decision that, you know, this has been percolating with you for quite a long time. So every month you've made a decision to leave things as they are. So that's 3 months of a wrong decision to leave things as they are, which isn't serving you. So you can't end up in a worse situation.
So how do I know what decision to make if I don't know what decision to make?
And this is when, are you making a decision that will make your students happy, or one that will make you happy? And they might not be the same thing. So you need to make the one that will make you happy. If, you know, when you ask friends for an opinion, you know what answer you want them to give. Okay? That helps you know which decision to make. So what do you want to do? If irrelevant of your students, what do you want to do? Without that, yeah, but what if they leave? What if they're happy? What do you want? No, what do you want?
Oh, you're asking me?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure that I know. I mean, I feel like, you know, you talked about being creative and having ideas, and I feel like over the last few years, I've had so many ideas, and I've been so creative with my ideas. And whenever I've tried to put them forward, I feel like they've just not worked. So now I'm at the point, I mean, I did the bedtime yoga. That was something I really wanted to do, and it was really successful. And that makes me think, well, I'll just do that again. But I'm not
Yes.
sure. Oh, you think?
Yeah, if you've done something that's successful, do it again, and also copy the model. So that model that you did was successful, and you did it for bedtime yoga. So absolutely rinse and repeat it, and then duplicate the model with another theme.
Right. Okay. So in terms of the 5-week courses that you suggested, and I did with bedtime yoga, and it was successful, would you say, because I did think that's what I'd like to do, something like that again, like do another one in February, say, and call it Hibernate or something like that. Or wintering. I thought maybe I could call it wintering. How many of those, because I feel like I could do that every month, but then I'm just doing the same thing that I'm already doing, but in a shorter, rather than it being a monthly subscription, it's just so I don't want to overdo it. How many of those
Can't tell you. Depends on the size of your audience and their passion. If I run 5-week courses with a topic online, and I always change the topic, and I know that there are people that would do that every single one I put on if I always change the topic. I can't run enough for the people that would just rinse and repeat. So if you've got students that are really loyal, they'll go, Gillian, what's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? And that's what most of my online client base are like. What's the next one, Laura? And you've just got to keep going, and then repeat the ones you've had for new people.
Right. Okay. And can I ask, if you repeat it, would you contact the people who had done your previous one and offer them a 5% discount to motivate
Oh, I
them?
wouldn't offer them a discount, but
No.
I'd definitely contact them. I know you loved this course before. I'm doing it again. Why don't we do it again together?
Okay.
Keep each other accountable. Yeah, I'm not offering them a discount.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, my loves. I'm going to have
Thank you.
a quick quiz in the. Okay. Oh, thank you for sharing that, YouTube. Right, my lovelies. I know there's some more questions in the chat, but I have witchy stuff to do. Happy solstice to you all. Thank you for staying for questions, and I'll see you tomorrow, lovelies. Bye for now. Bye.